Hey, we love that umbrella guy. All right. Thank you.
I'm calling from Los Angeles, and I'm having a little problem under the name ThatUmbrellaGuy. I sent him my phone number at least 20 times in the chat and told him to call me. He ignored me. I'm a man. I filed the report. If you guys could take a look at it and give me a call back, I would love to hear what you guys can do to help us. We really need to kind of stop this guy at least until Monday. I told him to call me. I'm a man.
Like my coffee, extra mad and bitter. And then they're loyal like juice, so yeah, the man's a quitter. He's strapped face up behind the platinum grill. I style faceless, just pick these mic skills. And in the street killer, I will not be denied. That I'm mic'd up, I raise my head with pride. A force of nature cruising the whip, doing walk-bys on your boulevard. Face my verbal cliff. In this land of live streams, baby, I'm on the road. Got my feet on the media, scraping them up my soles. It's that umbrella guy facing the accusers. Cleated out size 14s, crushing all those losers. It's that umbrella guy, they said we couldn't make it. Never ask permission, just sense, I'll go and take it. The media buzzwords, they will never save you. Listen and believe it's meant to enslave you. Challenging the hypocrites, and baby, I'm on fire. They flash titles like they're royalty, but it's true that I'm a journalist. Scribble nursey rhymes, one in this grill in a basket, with a tisket and a tasket, and their morals in a casket. No morals in a casket. They're always pushing make believe and weaving straw to gold, but I'm sick of all the fairy tales and buying what I'm sold. Strolling into the backyard, taking truth on tour, baby, there is sickness, and that umbrella guy's got the cure. Look, it's that umbrella guy knocking at the door. No more ministry of truth than the plot of 1984. I'm dumping all my verbal clips, the case is filled with knowledge. They're on the mic like kindergarten, and I'm taking them to college. By the mask, baby, cause this has to be a crime. I'll take the mic and boom, there in the chalk outline. I used to throw elbows, but now I'm dropping nukes. You wrote another hit piece, isn't that cute? And the worst part, they'll never learn it before the stakes start channeling, crash and burn. They pretend that we need to get their permission. That umbrella guy crushing their ambitions. You're not my competition, it's that umbrella. It's that umbrella guy steamrolling them out for fun. Mic check, mic wreck, paging this army of one. There's no hesitation, no doubt, not even a scintilla. The Tokyo baby and me, I'm Godzilla. Crushing them like Godzilla, like Godzilla.
All right. What's up, folks? What's up? Welcome to a Thursday edition of The Craziness Never Ends, ever. How you doing tonight, Megalodonus foe?
Well, I just got kicked out of my computer for a while, and I lost all my redactions I was doing. So I am doing them right now. I'm getting good at this. This is the third time I've had to do it.
I know. Hey, the chat can tell, like, if there's something like that going on, like there's reboots and stuff, you can always tell because I make the intro longer.
Longer? Did you?
Yeah,
I don't know,
I
because
put on
I
the.
just got in when Godzilla started, and I was like, "Oh, I love this song."
Yeah, that song is 2 minutes and 42 seconds. So I
Perfect,
choose.
perfect.
Yeah, a lot of times I'll choose the song at like a minute and a half or something, but that one's the longest one I have up here.
No, and my computer is brand new, you guys. It's not I don't know what I think it's one of my plug-in devices. It's either the Stream Deck or I think it's the microphone. And because Brad has he's troubleshooted this a million times. And we thought we had it fixed with an update, but it's starting to do it again. And I do think it's one of the external devices. So I don't know. This
The
microphone.
joy of technology. Did I lose you? Did I lose Megan?
Oh, it's probably because
there.
I had to reboot and my Wi-Fi is my thing is low.
No,
So
that's fine. I was
I'll
like,
be quiet till it boots up
that was
fully.
funny. You're like in the middle of a statement and then like it just ended. I was like, wait a minute, maybe I did lose you.
I think I am connected by Ethernet, so it was like switching between the Ethernet and the
Oh
Wi-Fi
yeah,
for
yeah,
whatever reason. So
man.
I think we're good now. I think it's done doing whatever it does. We'll see.
So it's been interesting over the last few days. We found out, of course, that there is another lawsuit that has come up. So, we've gone over that. Well, over the last few days, it's been fascinating to watch the ecosystem because all of their videos on a certain topic, they seem to strangely be disappearing.
Yeah. Yeah, it's so strange. They just are deleting and shredding. They've got the shredders going constantly. They the shredding shit. It's weird. You know what? They've threatened us for months with lawsuits. I haven't deleted anything.
Not
I
just
had to
that.
move some stuff over to Rumble because they were threatening to strike my channel and striking my channel. But everything is on Rumble. It's all still there.
Well, not just that. They for a long time, I thought it wasn't all free speech. I thought what we were doing, they classified it as all kinds of buzzwords. But then suddenly now talking about this subject it's suddenly all free speech again. That's weird. We kept
Yeah, isn't
saying
that
that over and over.
strange?
Yeah.
Now they're making the free speech argument. Whereas before they were saying that we are a bunch of conspirators. Now they're saying they're collaborators. Not conspirators, just collaborators. I got some good stuff on that. Stupid Dave decided to make another video. I don't know why these people keep doing it, but they do. And I'll take it because it's funny. But yeah, there are some things that have been said. And oh shoot, I lost that too.
Oh, no.
I just realized no, it should still be there because it was on Dropbox.
Oh, yeah,
but
yeah,
I
you
just have to
uploaded it.
reopen it,
Yeah,
because
and see if it's there. Well, actually, it would have given it time to process that.
I
Anyway,
think it was I think it processed. Well, I don't know.
You'll find
We'll
out.
see. We'll find out in a minute.
No, it's just fascinating though. I mean, the fit throwing, like the day that everything hit, you had Ray who just lost his ever loving mind, which was
Yep.
that was amazing. I mean, if for some reason people missed that one was absolutely amazing.
We may have to go over that on Rumble one of these days because
God,
it
we
was
do
so funny.
actually. You need to have a Rumble exclusive, another one, and we need to go over that one because
It's really funny.
I can't stand watching this video. Just to be honest, they bore me. Like I get really bored really quick. I'm like, all right, okay, but that one was very entertaining.
It was very entertaining.
Dry erase boards. Carry around your dry erase boards, kids. Don't plant your boards in the ground. Not like that time. I mean, that was such a weird statement anyway, because when he made that statement, I thought, are you admitting to the signs from before? What are you trying to say with that, buddy? It just seemed like a weird admission of everything that, they had denied for so long. Suddenly it's, hey, maybe we shouldn't put signs in the ground.
Well, it made me laugh that it's like, well, what if you just carry them? You think it's better than putting it in the ground? It's somehow not defamatory if you're carrying them? I don't.
Yeah, you can
That
carry
doesn't
around the
really.
sign, call somebody terrible shit. That's somehow better. It's like, wait a minute.
Very weird. Very, very weird stuff.
I kind of loved it though, you know, just because it was when the lawsuit. This is something we were talking about, and you know, thought about it more. I don't know certain players and what there is or isn't against them out there. So I was like, well, you got to have more, right? Oh, Ray was like, oh yeah, here you go. Here's an entire video of it.
Yeah.
I mean, the doubling down on everything that they said about exes and divorce, all this stuff. And like you said, they would not be able to know this stuff. They wouldn't have access to it. So they have no idea. All they have are some forward-facing names of documents. And they've guessed at what a few of those things are. And I'm going to say I know for a fact that they guessed a few wrong, just because you can look at them and tell what they are. But they just went with it anyway.
Yeah, so I have that transcript. I think we should bring this up because it's very funny.
All right, let's do that one.
And it's not very long, so we could actually read through it. Because it's
AJ, by the way. Look at that. That's wild. AJ Stone, 20 gifted membership. I knew I saw a bunch hit. You know, that's crazy. Sticky Widget kicked it off, dude. There's a bunch of people. Anyway, I'm not reading Super Chat. I'm just looking at that. I was like, wow, that was crazy.
All right, here we go. I had to change a few things. Here we go. I'm adding some nicknames. Here we go.
Milltown.
Here, wait. This one should
Milltown. I actually like that.
Paint chips.
I like Milltown's best though. Delicious. That's perfect.
All right. So it says, good morning, everybody. It's the Thursday, the 27th of February, and you all haven't heard from me in quite some time. He was looking very disheveled, by the way. I had no idea that Stupid Dave had super long hair, like super long, greasy hair.
I didn't know that. I thought he was.
He does. It's longer than mine.
Really?
Oh. Mm-hmm. And he was wearing it all down and unkempt, and he looked like he hadn't slept well in several days. You've all heard the news, and it is what it is. I have been advised that I should not be speaking about this publicly, and I'm going to heed to that advice and make another video about it. I hope you guys can respect that. I will not be talking about this publicly, except for this video right here, right now. As of right now, at least until things become more clear, I will send all of you guys to Darth Touch's channel. He is the host of the I don't know, some terrible podcast with paint chips, a former New York attorney. Isn't it funny how he doesn't tell his audience why this guy is a former attorney?
That's actually quite fascinating to me because paint chips and the ecosystem, they don't seem to care about all the horrible shit that these people have gotten up to. They seem to be like, oh, we're just going to pretend that doesn't exist. So you tell me that you want to dog on a Jeremy Hales over and over again.
Or Randy Shockett, by the way, who they call a felon, which is completely false.
Yeah, but when they recruit a felon, they're
an
all
absolute ex-con convicted felon of multiple felonies.
They collaborate with. That's interesting.
And they call him a former lawyer without telling you why he's a former lawyer. Randy still has his law license. He's in good standing with the bar. That should tell you everything you need to know.
Well, I guess, felon, a disbarred felon. It doesn't sound as good, right?
I guess. So he's the host of some bad podcast with paint chips, a former New York attorney, and what they said about this lawsuit pretty much mirrors a lot of people's beliefs. And this is going to be a lawsuit if it goes forward. It's going to change the whole grounds of YouTube and freedom of speech.
Wait, isn't that so? That they were okay with that though? If it's about a fucking thumbnail in someone's name, which is the counter.
They never considered that it was going to change the face of YouTube if she won that stupid thumbnail thing.
Yeah, I mean, they would all be doomed because
they'd all get sued into oblivion for their thumbnails. They didn't care about that, though. Did they?
Oh no, they don't at all. I mean, oh Lord, and they won't be honest about it and say that that's already been tested and it has been tried, and we already have decisions based on that.
It's been litigated. I really wish I could dive in and tell you everything. All I'm going to say is I have defamed absolutely no one, and that's why I'm deleting all of my videos. He's deleted hundreds of thousands of views, and they're all Jeremy Hale's videos.
They do know that, by the way, when they do that, that can impact their monetization on your channel. You do know that, right, Stupid Dave? It actually takes away from your channel's view total when you private or you delete a video. Check it for real, it'll go away. So all that stuff that you're removing, yeah, you might just demonetize your channel in the next go. If you this has been the only thing that they get views on.
Yeah, and well, they have bigger problems than that because it can also work against you in court. It's called spoliation. Spoliation. You're not.
But how are they going to defend? I mean, they don't. They already don't have any.
And if he didn't defame anybody, why is he deleting stuff? If you didn't defame somebody, then why are you deleting the evidence that you didn't defame him? Wouldn't the evidence be your statements? Why would you delete those?
Aren't there a bunch of them doing it at the exact same time? That seems like behind the scenes.
Yeah,
they
weird.
May be collaborating.
Yeah, maybe they got together and decided to delete stuff all together. No chat, not exfoliation. That's what you do with the rough sponge in the shower.
I like to exfoliate. Yes.
Exfoliation is something different. Everyone should exfoliate. No one should spoilate. Okay.
Right.
Is that even a word? I think I just made that up. All right, where was I? I have defamed absolutely no one. Reading court documents in a video is just that. That's not what you did.
When do they read court documents?
He didn't read any court documents. They just sit around and whine about Jeremy Hales, and they'd talk to his kids, and they're calling places where he used to work, and they're calling whatnot, and they're calling what's that flashlight place? The Olight place.
Yeah, see, that's where, the true stepping over the line. And when you can prove damages, like that's easy. And these idiots, they got together behind the scenes. They formed an anti-what-the-hales media ecosystem. They named it. They named this.
They named themselves. We read court documents. That's what we do over here. That's why we started covering this case, because I was reading the court documents and watching the court proceeding in Levy County in the 8th District. We read documents. What they do is not that.
It's far from it.
It is not that, which is why none of our stuff has been deleted, because we can stand by every damn word. I was never once issued a cease and desist. That doesn't matter. And actually, that's not true. Jeremy Hales verbally said multiple times, the people who are doing this will, if they don't stop, they're going to face consequences in court. He said it multiple times. And they heard those videos. They watched those videos because they talked about them. And they said that Jeremy Hales just threatens everyone with lawsuits. So they knew that they were under the threat of a lawsuit if they didn't stop what they were doing. Yeah. And that is just as good as the cease and desist in any way. Depending on the state you're in, you don't need to send one before you sue.
Their weird script is this too. See, the lawyer that is involved with them, he's been writing folks like myself, yourself, and he's been like, hey, here's stuff, cover this. So he's admitting, hey, you're journalists on this. Okay, fair enough. I don't think the reverse is true. I don't actually think that Jeremy or his lawyer has been like, hey, say these things about me. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's funny, because if they want to get on a soapbox and I noticed for a while the threats of litigation. They used to threaten us every single day.
Mm-hmm.
They would every day.
Every day.
This, that, and then they started mailing us as quote unquote journalists. I was like, all right, and I say quote unquote because that's their word. Bruce used it. He was like, all the journalists here's my settlement offer. Oh yeah, he's mailed out more stuff. So and of course I've kept records of that.
Of course.
Mhm.
I was never once issued a cease and desist, nor was I ever asked for a retraction. And the ultimate defense to defamation is to just tell the truth. And I've done that. Well, that's true. That's the defense, but I'm not sure about that. We'll see.
I guess we'll see. You know,
I
again,
guess we'll
I'm
see.
gonna be very fair. Like Milltown, I haven't watched his videos.
I don't watch his stuff, so I have no clue what he's been saying.
You know, I'm not there's
I'm
a
gonna have
bunch
to
of
wait for the filings and stuff and the evidence to come out to see,
Yeah.
you know, what it is that they're claiming that he said, because I don't know, because I haven't
'cause
watched it.
I mean, most of the ecosystem, again, I probably wouldn't know anything about the majority of the ecosystem if it, you know, if it weren't one PR channel and you have their lawyer doing stuff that I've never seen another lawyer do. You know,
Right. Right. Let's see. And I guess if we got to take it to the further level, so be it. But I'm not going to play a part of this man's game. I'm not going to be a character on his YouTube channel. I'm just not. Okay.
I'm not a character on it. What?
I don't know. I did this because I like talking about YouTubers and other stories online. Do you, though? You like talking about other YouTubers? I try to avoid talking about other YouTubers if I absolutely can. Unless YouTubers end up in the news, I don't like talking about other YouTubers.
Yeah. That's usually, like, if it's a court case, there's specific names. You know, like we
Right.
talked about the Mr. Beast thing that came up. I do rail on that Destiny stuff, but I don't rail on it here usually. I rail on it on Twitter more than anything. You know?
Yeah, I don't really like talking about YouTubers, especially in a negative way. If I talk about them, it's always in a positive way. You know, certain YouTubers that I like, I'll tell people about. But I don't want to be a YouTube drama channel. And I guess he's admitting that's what he likes to do. He likes to talk about other YouTubers and other stories online. And that is what I am going to continue to do. I am going to continue to make videos. I am not going to let anybody destroy this channel whose birthday is today. Mealtown's Best. That's what the transcript did. I swear to God, I didn't do that. Mealtown's Best.
That's what I was saying. I like that. That's hilarious. That works. You know, I never thought of that.
I didn't see it.
So that was the transcript that did that. That's amazing. That's even better.
The transcript did it. I didn't do it.
That's what I was saying. I like that name. That's actually
when you said it, I still thought you were saying Milltown. Because the way
your
address, the way your accent is, I thought you were saying Milltown, not Mealtown.
Meal. Yeah, they do sound right. Let's see.
They sound the same.
Mealtown. Okay, I'm going to say Mealtown. Then I'm going to say MEAL. Mealtown.
Meal.
They just sound exactly the same.
Like the host never misses a meal. Like that.
I'm going to go work at the meal. I'm going to go eat a meal. They sound exactly
Yeah, they sound exactly the same when you say it.
It's funny.
Mealtown's Best has officially been around for 18 years as of today. I just got the message in my YouTube studio this morning. So happy birthday, Mealtown's Best. The things have been crazy, and I understand there's been a lot of inner drama within a community, and that is with every community. But at a core, we all care about free speech. Oh, do you? Striking other people's channels?
Striking channels, yeah, making threats all the time if you happen to use a clip or anything. Yeah, that's your free speech. Are you kidding me?
Like, we could be using his clip right now, but because these people are you know, they're strike hoes, we can't, because they'll strike the channel wrongfully, but it's a pain in the ass and nobody wants to deal with it.
Wait, so he's been doing this for 18 years. Like I'm not trying to be a dick about this, okay? Just say it. He has 1,700 subs for 18 years. Wow.
Are you 17? Oh, that's rough.
That's really wild, man. That's rough. So what I'm saying on this is, you know, as far as monetization and stuff, like, that just ain't gonna work. It's not work at all.
Yeah, this is like the first time he's gotten any traction on anything, and now he's, you know, he's deleting it all.
I guess he's butthurt. I flipped up on his channel. Oh, has he been talking about me, Tubby?
He's been writing on a whiteboard. I forgot to show you that with your name. I forgot to send that to you, and it's like, yeah, it's so funny. I don't know. He's like not threatening you. He's like challenging you to a duel or something. I'm not sure.
Challenge me to a duel? What, you know?
He says you're scared. He says you feel fear when you think about him.
Of him? Oh yeah, I do. I'm telling you, you know,
Well,
the weight.
he
it's
might steal your
crushing.
lunch. So if
Mealtown.
yeah. I would be afraid if I had a picnic lunch or anything around him. That would be a reason to be scared if he were around at that point.
Man, I tell you, hey, I'll tell you, crack a couple of 1,000 views on a video, and then we'll talk.
Oh, I understand inner drama. I don't want to hear the terms torque feasers. Now, he said tort feasers, but I think it's funny that the transcript said torque feasers.
Torque feasers.
I don't want to hear the terms tort feasers or anything like that. Collaborators is what I am.
Well, that's it.
Can we just zoom in on that? Collaborators. I'm a collaborator. That makes it better somehow. I collaborate with other creators, and that is highly encouraged by Google and YouTube as a platform. And that is how people build a channel. Oh, look.
Collaborator is not necessarily a positive word, I remember some certain, let's just say some certain folks from the 1940s. They called them collaborators. You know what I mean? That didn't
go so well. They had hearings and everything.
Yeah. When they say, Yahtzee collaborators, they don't say, conspirators. That's what.
It wasn't a good thing.
Not a good thing at all. Just saying.
The word collaborator and conspirator, well, it's pretty much interchangeable. So I think it's funny that he chose these words. I think these words are going to end up in a court document. Just saying. And I think it's interesting that he has admitted that this is how he chose to build his channel.
You have what he's wanting to do is go with the definition working jointly on projects, right? An associate. Yeah. But there's the other definition. And again, I'm paraphrasing this, but it's cooperating traitorously with the enemy, like a defector. Mm-hmm. That's I believe that's the other definition. Collaborator. So I'm just saying.
There are two definitions for that word. I mean, YouTube uses it. They use it as a word that means, working with other YouTubers to build channels, but it doesn't. That's not the only meaning of it. And in the legal sense, the word collaborator does not mean what Google thinks it means.
Melissa said, I'm confused who wrote this. It is Milltown.
It was Mealtown.
It's not written, by the way. This is a transcript.
This is a transcript from a video that he did yesterday, I think, or maybe today. And then he said this YouTuber, speaking of Jeremy, collaborates quite often with YouTubers like ThatUmbrellaGuy, Shizzy Wiznut, Megan Fox and the DUI guy. Wait, Megan Fox, the DUI guy? I'm sure that's a transcript error. So that does not mean, now this is great. Look at this. That does not mean that they are tortfeasors, does it? Well, I don't know, Dave. That's what you've been saying.
He just said we're not then. Hey, thank you for admitting.
Thank you for admitting that we are not tortfeasors in any way. But it's weird that you spent all this time pushing this false narrative that we're all RICO conspirators.
Yes, and they all thought it would be fun. They all laughed and laughed and laughed about the idea and told us, just buckle up, we're going to be sued, right?
Right.
They did.
And that was cyber stalking under the guise of journalism. How many times did I hear that out of their mouths, including Stupid Dave? He said that.
Yep.
It's interesting how this is all coming. It's boomeranging right back on them. Everything they said that they were going to accuse us of doing, they have now been accused in court of doing.
I was just like, dude, make fun. Like, if you don't like Jeremy Hale, that's fine. Make fun of him. Make nicknames. That's what he does. Make fun of him. Make fun of whatever, and go through court documents. You can have an opinion based on something. You can say, man, this is the stupidest fucking filing I've ever read in my life. This guy's an amateur hour, whatever. You can go through that. You can do that. You have to base it on something. You can't just. You also have to remember there are certain things out there like protective orders. Like we talked about yesterday. We'll talk a little bit more about today. But the protective order is very real. And maybe you should read it. because it's not just been decided. It's not just stood more than once. We've had the judge look at certain events and say, yeah, these are violations. But there's this other thing about I guess they like the word collaborating, being a third party.
Third party acting on behalf of the people who are being restrained. You can't do that. And y'all have been doing that. You've been acting on the behalf of people who have an order of protection against them, and you've been acting on their behalf to contact and harass Jeremy Hales. How do you think that's going to look in court? You're a dumbass. I didn't call her. You know why I didn't reach out to her? Because I was told and shown the documents that at the time she had the restraining order against him, and it said he could not have anyone reach out to her, no third party. So I couldn't reach out to her even to try and tell a story. Yeah. So
and
I actually avoided.
I
avoided even talking about her in the PJ Media article. They complain about that article all the time. Her name, I don't even think her name is mentioned, or if it is mentioned, it's just that she's the plaintiff. I didn't write one thing about her. It was all about the judge and how the case was going and the facts of the overreach of the free speech suppression. And I even mentioned I can't even reach out to the plaintiff because this judge overreached so far.
These are people that they have shown that they have access to camera systems that are set up on that property. I mean, come on. Are you kidding me? You've got to know if these idiots would step back one step and look at this, look at it as a detached thing. And just think, hey, if I were watching someone else, actually think about it this way. If Megan and Tug had this and it were reversed, would you say that that is not overstep? Would you say that that is something to be sued over? And of course they'd be like, oh my God, how dare that? And
yeah, if Jeremy had a camera, let's say Jeremy's camera that faces her property was like Wi-Fi access, and he gave us access to it, and we were streaming it on YouTube, what do you think they would say?
Well, especially, okay, imagine that while the Florida case was still going on, that original her Florida case.
Yeah, and she had the temporary restraining order. Yep.
So imagine that, because we're talking about, again, protective orders. So if we're 100%, they'd have been like, oh my God, yes, this, that, and the other.
And they would have been right. They would have been right to criticize that. That's a crazy thing to do. It's an absolutely crazy thing to do.
It is.
It is stalking. It's not even cyber stalking. It's like literal, actual stalking in real life.
Jeremy Hales was the one that told people not, I repeat, not to contact. He made it clear, do not contact her. It caused him problems. And on top of that, he didn't want that. So they can go back to that very first interview, because that was something, when we were talking about being able to discuss this with everyone. Like you said, that's the reason that nobody reached out to her. And it stayed that way. It absolutely stayed that way. Now, after that fail, I've opened an invite, as of you, and said that if she wants to come on a show, it would be her contacting us. So we're still not reaching out. She can make contact.
She can make
contact. Yeah.
But yeah, this is crazy. So I think it's great that he is finally admitting that doesn't make us tortfeasors. Now, I don't know. The court's going to have to decide if they are. So he says, now see here, I go diving and I'm not supposed to talk. So I apologize, guys. It's going to be very hard for me, clearly, because he's talking. But rest assured, I will do everything I can to stand up for free speech, the First Amendment, and to stop slap lawsuits that, in my opinion, is what I was just served, or whatever you call it, filed. This was a strategic lawsuit against public participation. Oh, congratulations. He looked up slap. And it was done, in my opinion, to damage me, my mental health. Oh, I'm so tired of this guy weaponizing his mental health. Indeed. Dave, you've been talking about your mental health nonstop for at least the entire time I've been aware of your presence. You talk about how mentally damaged you are. This has nothing to do with Jeremy Hales. That is your own personal problem.
Well, it's so messed up too. Like, you just roll with it. Like on Twitter, people who don't like me. I mean, I see people all that, man, I hope you die from your health problems. I'm like, ha ha ha, until I do, I'm gonna make fun of you, jackass. You know. you
Pardon me while I strap you to my plow.
Exactly. I'm like,
Oh.
because you can either, if that really is a vulnerability, like you said, that's on their problem, and they need to decide, do they want to be on here or don't they? And if they don't want to be on here,
Yeah,
that's
get off
weird
of
for a guy
YouTube.
he wants a fight with me. Really? You want a verbal back and forth?
Yeah,
with me?
he does. Look at him baiting you, and yet he says he has weak mental health, but he's baiting that umbrella guy into a verbal battle. Is he insane?
Oh,
He's asking to get wrecked because there's
Oh.
there's nobody that I know who can survive a verbal battle with Tug.
Little
I don't,
pork
not
bone
me.
some, I swear.
Nobody can
Wilbur!
survive that.
No,
I don't know anybody, and he's asking for it. And like, look at how restrained Tug is being. We're all being restrained because of this guy and his mental health. We're
I
like,
was afraid, like,
all right.
I left him alone for a long time because I thought, man, this delicate little flower over here is going to wilt up, and I'm afraid that he might do something stupid. So I left him alone. But now,
Right.
I mean, he apparently, in order, I actually have a little theory of it. It hit me. He went out and he talked a bunch of shit about Ray. You remember the whole back and forth. In fact, he was crying about it before, and now to get back in the back in the good graces of
I must have missed
Ray.
that. He talked shit about Ray. What
Oh
did he
yeah,
say?
yeah. See, what happened is, okay, so over that donor money, Ray, had a lot to say. One of the things he had to say was that these idiots, Storage Boy and Milltown, they were being quiet, and that meant they were part of it. They were a cause. That wasn't being neutral. That was just like being an enemy. So he had some shit to tell. And you know what? I don't blame him for that. I'd be like, shut your mouth, old man. I'd slap those words right out of his mouth. I mean,
yeah,
no way.
I agree. I think he was wrong there. Dave's got a right to have whatever fans he wants to have. And you know.
Well, and I mean, he didn't want to get in that fight. Okay. But, oh, no, you have to. So after that, of course, it went back toward him. And, of course, 2L1 went after him as well. What does he do? He starts crying and whining about how terrible people are. And they don't understand. And they're breaking down the family. So I guess he's trying to get back in the good graces. I guess that's what this is all
He's
about.
too fragile for YouTube. He needs to get off of YouTube. It's not good for him. Fragile people should not be on YouTube or the internet for that matter. Fragile people should, stay inside and watch Hallmark movies.
That's it. Yeah.
That's his speed. His speed is Hallmark movies and hot cocoa with his mama. That's what he should be doing. And there's nothing wrong with that. If that's where your mental health is and that's what you got to do to get by, then that's what you do. But you shouldn't be opening yourself up to a verbal war with the hammer of the internet. Like, don't do that. Why are you doing that? This man will take a hammer to you. Like, what are you thinking?
It's so dumb. Well, it's also, it also distracts away from their point. They've been doing anything that they can to avoid a question they all should be asking, and that is, what happened to that money? What happened to it? Don't they owe it to their viewers? Hey, fat boy, don't you owe it to your viewers? I mean, I know there's only a couple of hundred there most of the time, but don't you owe them? Don't you feel an obligation to them not to let them be scammed? And there's something wrong. That ain't a chat war, man. These are people that they feel that they need transparency. And I know you all have been mocking that word, transparency, pretending, oh, isn't that funny? Yeah, even acting like that. That just shows that you're a scumbag. So, I mean, if you want to do those people, if you want to do them a disservice, I just keep at it. Just do that.
Agreed. All right, let's see. My mental health, my pocketbook, and everything I stand for. I don't really know what he stands for.
He carries a pocketbook? I mean,
well, maybe,
when I talk about
maybe
like
in the scooter,
like
the scooter that he rides around town in, he has the pocketbook tucked in the basket.
It's just weird though. I don't even use like word like that. I'm like, if you're reaching into my wallet, that's conditioned into me. I might be like my daughter's pocketbook. I mean, again, if you want to carry things, different strokes for different folks.
You
That's just
carry a
interesting.
pocketbook?
Yeah, that's kind of, I mean, that's just weird, I mean, then again, I can't fit a big
That's
one
like what
into my
little old
wallet.
ladies carry, isn't it? A
Yeah,
pocketbook.
I mean, and the thing you were talking about, a fanny
carry?
pack. I mean, that's a little,
Could be. Could be.
I mean, a fanny pack, again, different strokes for different folks. If you like a fanny pack, now you have at it.
And everything I stand for. And he succeeded with the mental health. Oh, come on. No, your mental health was wrecked before this. You've said it all the time. You don't stop talking about it. I assure you guys right now, I am not handling this as well as I should be. That's why I haven't been around. He should go get help. Go get help. Call someone. Call your therapist.
Dude? Come on.
He probably has several.
For real. For anybody out there, and again, I don't mean this rudely, it is the internet is not your therapist. In fact, the internet will be the opposite of your therapist.
Right.
It will do damage. If
it
you
will
were
make it
delicate,
worse.
Yeah, very much so. So don't think it is. I mean, you can find people that you can talk to online, but if you put out that you have problems and you feel weak at something, the internet's more likely to
push you over the edge.
Will hit you with a hammer. Well, it'll hammer you, and you'll either become steel, you become unflinching, or you'll break, one or the other.
Yeah, and I don't think this guy is. I don't think he's the steel type.
He doesn't feel like steel to me. No,
it feels like whale blubber. All right, this is why I haven't been around, and it's just today I was able to get back on my feet on solid ground. Well, that's because you need to lose 400 pounds. You need to do that. That will make getting up every morning a lot easier. Start the planning phases.
Planning that cruise.
Maybe
that's about the cruise. Yeah.
Start the planning phases and getting anything in motion here. But remember, guys, I love all of you. I stand behind my words. Freedom of speech is pivotal. Unless they're trying to shut us up, especially in the YouTube game. And if you do not stand behind the little guy in this one, wait, who's the little guy?
I don't know him.
I don't see any little guys.
Yeah, that's because he's standing behind.
Is the little guy in the room with you right now? Where? There are no little guys in this scenario. So if you do not stand behind the little guy in this one, I don't know what to tell you, because if you read that lawsuit, I saw it. No definition anywhere in that lawsuit, especially when it came to me. But guys, it is what it is. They say that you make your bed, lay in it. And I know I'm just fluffing the pillows, guys. So let's see where this goes.
Fluffing the pillow. Yeah.
I wish you guys would stick with me through all this. I hope you do, because I could sure use some support. Yeah, you need a walker, because I don't know how you're putting one of those legs in front of the other. And let's get going, guys. I got tons of content coming. Tons. Non-drama related content. Bye, guys. All right. So that was his video.
Wait. So when did that come out, by the way? Was that today?
It was either today or yesterday.
I'm curious. I gotta look real quick. I have to know something.
It was like 17 minutes or something. Maybe
I'm not gonna watch anything. I'm just gonna look at the videos and see when that is, because I'm very curious about something. Oh Lord, God, the channel almost makes me yawn.
I know the thumbnails are pretty bad.
Is it the one that's 19 minutes long?
I think so. What's it called? It says something like "You have questions." It's called "You have questions."
I heard they have some questions. Let's talk. There's a 5-minute.
That's
one.
The one. That's the one.
That's funny. He's like, no, non-drama. 3 hours before that, he was like making a whiteboard thing.
3 hours before that, he's like, he's challenging Tug to get into a YouTube war, which is not something Tug's interested in doing with him, I'm sure.
Oh no! It depends on my boredom level in a day. I'll say sometimes it's just like, Darth Pee over there, you know. So some days I'm like, I'm not gonna write that dude back. But there's been a couple of times I've been like, yeah, you know, Darth Touch. I do need to humble him. So
Today's the day. Today's your day,
yeah.
Darth Touch.
Oh my God. So you all want to hear
He's losing
something
his
really
mind
funny.
on
Megan,
Twitter, right? Yeah.
oh, this is even better. So Paint Chips has decided that this was funny to me. Paint Chips decided that he was going to take a hashtag, an anti-Jeremy Hales hashtag, and try to get it trending. Now, there's not enough of them, even with fake accounts and more, to get something trending. Let's be honest. But what's really funny is there's no support. Dude's over there by himself trying to make this hashtag happen. Oh, it's like,
God,
man,
it's so embarrassing. Not to
one
mention
is
that
the
there's no more
loneliest number.
hashtags on Twitter. You don't use the
Yes.
pound anymore, which I kind of don't
Yes,
like. I
Tubby,
miss
that doesn't work.
hashtags.
Yeah, I mean, it was. I'm torn on it. I didn't like having to make a hashtag to make something get attention. You know, I liked it trending off a topic. That way, if you were talking about, you know, like a person's name or something, if you got enough there, then it would become a topic. But I did like hashtags too, because you could directly find it. You know, there could be 5 things about a person going on, and you could keep up with
Right.
them with a hashtag.
And
You know,
now
with,
it's like,
yeah.
what? How do you tell people to get something funny trending? Like tramp stamp lawyer? Now we just do no hashtag. Just start writing the word tramp stamp lawyer. It
I
just
think if
doesn't
you
have
can
the
get enough
same ring.
attention, I think if you get enough attention, it'll still get, you know, people will put the hashtag on it, and then the subject would go. But it's funny, like, I mean, watching these people, man, they are terrible at this. Like, oh
Yeah,
my
they're not
God,
good
they're
at it.
so bad at it.
And it's worse to like try and fail, I think, like than just not try at all. They probably should have just
repeatedly.
Oh, it's
You know,
funny though.
I would be embarrassed. Wouldn't you be embarrassed though? I mean, for real.
I would be so embarrassed.
I'd be embarrassed. Mm-hmm.
Like she was always trying to get stuff trending.
Yeah, they
not
would,
even
and every
she
now
could
and
do
then
it.
they actually. Yeah, every now and then, if you know, we started laughing at something, then it would get attention. But they wouldn't do it on their own, and they actually had media clout and everything else.
Right.
So
and bots
these
and all sorts of things.
Yep.
If Amber Heard couldn't do it, I don't think Paint Chips can.
Oh man, Paint Chips can't do very much of anything. Now we mentioned in this yesterday, we started talking about the Ohio protective order. In fact, if you missed Megan's stream yesterday, you missed a doozy of a stream. You need to go back and you need to check that thing out. I mean, that protective order, the clarification on it, her lies where she gets caught in the middle.
Oh yeah, perjuring herself.
Lying about a page. Oh my God.
That was so beautiful.
That's amazing.
God, and that the judge wrote about it, like, so good.
Well, you know, she lies about small things, and that's a wild thing to me. You know, they're like non-important things sometimes. Like she gets so accustomed to lying about specific item, and again, if they want to be like, oh, like that, for example, oh my God, you know, you're saying stuff about her. Well, I hate to tell you, but it's right there in the protective orders. We see it in contradictory stories. And again, they're not major things. They're minor things. She can't admit to any wrongdoing.
Oh yeah. Do you have that screenshot of her saying that she was one of the fleas said something like, you know, she's 98% innocent. Maybe you don't like some of the things she's done. She's not perfect. And in the chat,
saying, she
was like, I'm
wrong.
sorry. I am 100% innocent. She said 100%, as if she never called George and Sand, you know what, as if she never said any of the stuff that she's been caught saying on Facebook. Like, come on, lady, admit you've said stuff, because we have it all.
One of my favorite things. Did you see the post about her as a hero?
No. Oh,
Did you see the heroic one?
No,
oh, you haven't seen this
this
one.
can't
Oh
be
my
good.
God, somebody dug this up. I read this the other night, but it's worth it. Okay, it's worth it. I'm gonna pull this up for you. Okay.
Okay.
Life truth about 10. Now this is a little long, but it's worth it. I want Megan's reaction for this. Okay. About 10 years ago in Port Charlotte, Florida, at a hotel tiki bar, interestingly, there's a we, but we'll never hear about another person again. We were visiting. I heard a man yelling help. People were yelling by the water that a man was drowning. So I ran down to the dock area, and another man had flipped his boat. He was going under, over and over, and no one would jump in. So I went to the rail, and people were saying, he's a drunk, let him die. But as
Oh my
scared as I
God.
was of sharks, this is amazing. I love it. I could not let him drown. So I jumped in, as little as I am, and I grabbed him by the shirt, and thank God my legs were very strong. So I put a foot on each pillar, not pillow, as and set this man on my lap to hold him until someone could come help me on the dock. A manager from the hotel was coming with a key to unlock a gate. People were yelling horrible things. He's a drunk. He's done it before. Who cares about him, girl? You're going to die for this drunk. Get out and save yourself. I chose not to. I chose
No
to
one
stay
said
in the
that.
water.
No one said that. No one. This never happened. Of all the things that never happened, this one never happened the most. Thank you, DTG, for reminding me of that meme. It's very appropriate here.
This is. Don't question.
Where are all these terrible people who would yell, "Let him die"?
Let him die, girl. Save yourselves. I thought there might be a shark, but I chose not to. I chose to stay in the water and help this man get to safety. Nobody would help him. Nobody would help me until a young man that was at the bar backing at the tiki bar ran over. I knew this young gentleman. He said, Michelle, I'm going to get in. I'm going to help you. And I said, thank you. And he jumped in the water and he helped me hold him and he helped me save this man's life. It was in the news. It was in the newspaper very well. Can you look it up?
It was?
I'm not the I've not seen that story, but hey,
what year?
It said about 10 years ago from 2013.
And where? Woman saves drowning man.
Give me a second.
It's in Rotundo,
Port Charlotte, Florida.
Port Charlotte,
Florida. This would be in 2013, right in that area. You know, I would say 2011 to 2015. That would give my area.
All right, let's see. Let's see. Hero who jumped from pier reunites with woman he saved from drowning. It was in 2016.
That would be hilarious. Oh, it'd be hilarious if that was it.
I couldn't watch her die. Wake County man jumps into a river. Well, it's weird she didn't put it. If there really was an article about this, wouldn't she have like screenshot an image or attached it in some way? She wants us to look it up.
Yeah, look it up because she says I'm not the person that people are making me out to be. I'm a good person. I love human beings with all my heart. I love God with all my heart. Just the true facts of life. Unfortunately for the man, this was the second time that day he had flipped his boat. He was drunk and he was arrested. And I guess fortunately for him, he was taken to a rehab center and a jail. And hopefully he got help. I don't know if
it John
did or not. I never. Oh my God, that's funny. I never seen the man again, but maybe not then. But I know that for years after, every time I went to the tiki bar, everyone knew who I was. Yeah, they applauded. They were like, "Oh my God!"
And everyone clapped. And everyone clapped. It's funny how she doesn't have proof of this story, but she said it was in the news. I'm not finding it.
Look it up. Yes, I would love to read the article on that. So if you would produce that, that would actually be. I'll read. You know what? I'll say this way: if you save some dude in the water from shark infested waters, I'll read that. Okay, I will. I'll be like, all right,
Yep.
I'll read it. I will. I'll be like, all right. And the young man was still bar backing for quite a while there, and everybody knew that we had helped a man and saved his life. God is good all the time. Well. That's it. That's the amazing story. Didn't that just touch you right in the feels, Megan?
I don't want to be touched. I'll just put it that way.
Let me
Don't touch me
them.
anywhere.
Yes.
Okay.
They don't need to be touching any of my feels.
Nobody needs to be touching any of my feels. Stay away from my feels.
My feels say no. It means no. Oh my God. When I saw that, when I was like, oh my God, that's amazing. Somebody mailed it and they were like, did you know there was a superhero out there right now? I like again, so on February the 25th, there's a post on the quote unquote fan board where 2Ls talked about Silverman. In fact, I'll freeze it right on something so it doesn't play. It's just a post, right? You can see the board there. Give me 1 minute. I'll pull this up for you. Check this out. I thought this was fascinating. Look at that. I think Silverman took a bribe to drop it.
What?
Yeah, that's one of their narratives. One of the narratives about Silverman is that he took a bribe to drop the
That's
case.
so crazy. He is think whatever you want about Silverman, but he is a lawyer in good standing. He's an officer of the court.
Mm-hmm.
You cannot just go around saying these things.
Not just that, he represented in my opinion,
he tried to help her.
He did help her. I mean, they got to the point where they dropped it, but can still file the thing again. He managed to get her out of
without having to pay any
place
or attorney's fees.
Mm-hmm. I mean, she was in hot water, especially everything like that whole lawsuit. It turned. Jeremy, I imagine, was just sick and tired of that entire situation. You know, he was ready to be done with it. They knew they were going to go into Fed court. They had, their protective order that's going on. So they want to get rid of, they want to just say bad chapter. Let's move on. He can have his rights back, all of that. So I think that, the Silverman did her a solid. I mean, a real solid.
He did. He did not have to help her, and he did help her get out of that. He did. And this has got Bruce written all over it, by the way, because he is the one who comes up with the narrative that lawyers doing their job is a bribe.
Yeah.
He keeps
you
saying
do what's in the best interest of your clients, whatever that is. Sometimes winning isn't you walking away with a win. Sometimes it's making you walk away.
Oh my God, Tug. What? I just realized this. He is the third attorney they have accused of taking a bribe. The first one was Mark Feather.
That's true. Man, you know what?
They said he tried to bribe her. And remember, Feather got in, he had to go to a hearing, and it was crazy. It was crazy. Just offering a settlement got turned and twisted into he offered her a bribe. And then they accused the Miami attorneys that were working for the Ants of taking a bribe.
Yep.
Now they're accusing Silverman of taking a bribe. Was Bruce working with her all the way back when Mark Feather was on this case? Because this sure sounds like his tactics. I'll tell you what.
They said, I know, but you know what? Jeremy was sitting there and telling everybody that the case was done with that. I'm trying to read out. He was talking to Silverman and making it like, all of the sudden he's friends with him now. Did he act that? But he does it anyway. I mean, somebody, I'm reading the subtitles on it. Someone came forward last night. They're claiming they had a source.
Oh, God.
now with his new buddy, right? He's buddies with the judge, so he's buddies with the judge too, huh?
Which judge? Which one?
Oh.
He was buddies with I think he used to work with Thomas's.
I don't know.
I think they had a practice together or something. But
it says, I don't know. Who knows? Again, I'm skipping through, but Silverman like that's messed up. So I mean, it's fine because it's going to be taken care of. You know how we hear that all the time? It's going to be taken care of. But it's another thing that has to be taken care of too. Man, I'm marking this. I'm downloading that shit.
This is so crazy.
That's wild there. That's wild. I got to send that to myself because I need to download that clip.
I hate to tell you this, but I don't know how long I'm going to last tonight. I've been feeling bad all day.
You're okay.
And I'm starting to feel nauseated.
You're okay. I'm going to go through the answers for the hey, I of anybody understand. If you need to bounce.
I have just felt really off and bad all day. Okay, and all of a sudden I'm like all, ugh.
Hey, go and rest. Go take care of yourself,
I don't feel good.
All right. Well, hey, go if you need to go. And I've been there. Hey, I've had some rough live streams. So if you need to go, you need to go.
All right. I think I'm gonna go. But if this passes in a bit, okay. I'll come back.
Okay.
But I'll go listen. All right, chat. Yeah. Don't worry about me. I'll be all right. It's been a weird day. Well, all right.
Okay. All right. Yeah, Megan's had sick people in her house too. You got to remember that. So that's one thing you got to remember. She's had sick people around. This has been the time of sickness anyway. Oh. Let me see. I'm looking at that still. This is wild. So yeah, they apparently did accuse Jeremy Hales of bribing Silverman. I had heard that, but the clip here, man, I'm going to collect that clip. It's so wild to see. Now, I want to also today, one of the things I really wanted to look at, we looked at a little bit, but we hadn't had time to, with everything that had happened, we had not had time to truly look at the answers to something that happened a little while back. You remember? Give me a second. I'm going to pull these up side by side. So you remember documents 69 and document 70. You'll remember them once I mention their name. Remember, we're in the 80s now, the high 80s. But back when we looked at counterclaims, you remember all of this document, but one thing that we never got through was the answers. See, this document not only had the counterclaims in it, which was fascinating, but if you go through everything that is mentioned, all of these numbers, they're actually answering the original filing. Give me 1 second. Now, this is important. This is actually a big point. Give me a second. So this would be the initial filing that they're taking aim at. Here we go. Check this out. So this would be, you can see like the summary of the case, the parties. This is them answering every point in here, every single one. And it's fascinating to go through and to see what's there. So I thought, let's do it. Let's do it. What I thought we would do, since a lot of the answers, if they're simple, then we can just mention whatever. But if it's a protracted one, we should pull it up on the screen. Like even this, like a simple number 1, right? Check this out. Look at their answers. Again, this is their lawyer saying, do I agree, disagree? How do I answer this? And like I said, it's fascinating. We're to that point. But everything has gone so haywire. And it tells you how long that this has been going nuts. It's taken weeks to get back to this place. So, summary of the case. This is Jeremy Hales talking. All right, or Randy, which is Jeremy Hales talking, and then you're going to have their answers come up. So summary of the case. This case is about the use of threats or extortion to compel Hales to behave in a certain manner and or persuade Hales to provide Preston and...
Hold on. I put the redacted order in the Dropbox file for you.
Okay.
Just so
You got it in there?
I had that on my computer. I put it in the order protection file. It says redacted on it.
Okay, let me check that real quick. Yeah, I'm wondering. Actually, do you want me to wait to cover that part, the federal back and forth, the answers and stuff? Because I figured that would be something you'd want to look at.
Either way, it doesn't matter to me. I'm good. Whatever you
Okay.
want to do, you're good.
All right, I'm gonna. What is that under? Is it under Ohio?
It's under order
right?
of Ohio. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
And it should be right under the other one. And it's but this one says redacted.
Okay. All right. Thank you for doing that too.
Okay. See ya.
All right, go. See ya. Actually, you know what, folks? I think this would be more interesting. Here, we'll vote this. Okay. I'll let you all help me call this one. I thought it would actually be fun to go through because two sets of eyes are much better than one on something. And I can either park the question answer, even if Megan's like, I don't really want to go through that. We can go through it and set it as an entire stream thing. And we can look at the protective order stuff. Now, I know we read over a portion of the protective order yesterday. Remember, this protective order, I mean, it's a big deal, because right now there are people out there that, well, they seem intent on violating these protective orders. So I'll let you say, do you want to look at the protective order or do you want to look at question answer? Wait for Megan on it. Yeah, protective order. See, I think that would be fun to look at the protective order. It'd be more, I don't know if fun's the right word, but you know what I'm saying. I mean, when we go through it, it's a fascinating little. I'll show you exactly how this thing looks. And remember, I want to make this clear too. The ecosystem actually mailed this thing out. Okay. Jeremy Hales did not provide this in any way, shape, or form. What happened is the ecosystem. So to make this clear, Darth Touch, yeah, he and Paint Chips when they came in, one of the things that they wanted to lean on, because this is one of the ecosystem's talking points, is the protective order. And in fact, remember when Bruce decided to go haywire and he decided to go after the lawyers that are involved with the protective order as far as Jeremy's concerned. You remember that little thing? Yeah, well, while that's going on, you have those two posting portions of the protective order and mailing it out all over the place, which, like I said, is kind of crazy. So let's look at a little bit of the protective order. Let's look at a few pages of it. Let's just check some stuff out on this. I don't know if you've seen, well, I'm pretty sure most people have not seen everything here. Now, there'll be certain things that I will skip on this, of course. There are redactions, but there's certain things that are irrelevant in this, but this is telling you about them, warning to a respondent and to the defendant. Now, let's just look at some of the rules and how these things work. Okay. Violating the attached protective order is a crime punishable by incarceration, fine, or both. You may cause the revocation of bond or result in contempt of court citation against you. The protective order is enforceable in all counties of Ohio and 50 states. Okay, so there's a thing too. There seem to be, like, even in the enforcement area, there seems to be a little bit of confusion about how this works. About where and how it's active. Yeah, it's active everywhere. So the rules that they apply in Ohio, they also apply in Florida. Fascinatingly enough, the court also, one of the things we've learned from this is the court disagreed with Levy County and their police about what was or wasn't a violation. So when the police are like, no, like the post office, for example, or what happened at the police station, it tells you just how inept they've been. We wouldn't know all of that stuff if it weren't for certain people smelling it around. Isn't that fascinating? So, and protective orders are just like this. This is basic stuff. And yet, we still want to see this. Okay. I mean, it's just, like I said, it's weird with that. And again, I say one of the reasons that you don't have someone like Jeremy Hale's perceived in the same way as you would have if you reversed it. If it were an issue for a younger female, for example, smaller female versus Jeremy Hale, the perception is different. But the law likes to perceive it differently too. Even the orders that it stands against, like the Violence Against Women Act, not the Violence Against Persons Act, which I think you should have that, but it's under the Violence Against Women Act, 18 U.S.C. 2265. Violating this protective order may subject you to state, federal charges and punishment. Only the court may change the terms of a protective order. The petitioner, alleged victim, protected person cannot give you legal permission to change it. Now, that's a big thing, too. Nobody can change it. So even if I were to lay like, yeah, come over, chill out now. If you go near the petitioner, alleged victim, protected person, we're just going to say the petitioner from now on. I don't want to say that every time there. Even with their permission, you may get arrested. Only the court may change or end it. Unless the court changes or ends this, you may get arrested for violating the order. You act at your own risk if you disregard this warning. So, warning to the petitioner. You cannot change the terms of that either. Only a court may. They may allow, rather, to contact you or return to your residence. Protective order cannot be changed by either party without obtaining a written order. Notice about firearms or other deadly weapons. As a result of protective order, it may be a federal crime for you to possess or purchase a firearm, including a rifle, pistol, revolver, ammunition. If you have any questions about whether the law makes it illegal or not, again, that's why there were questions about this one. We were all wondering about that. The protective order may be subject to exemptions pursuant to only with the respect of official use. So they go through again some exemptions, and notice to law enforcement. The attached protective order is enforceable in all counties in Ohio. Violation of protection order is a crime. Law enforcement officers with power to arrest under blah, 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 blah. If you have reasonable grounds to believe that there's a violation, it is preferred course of action to detain the person until a warrant may be obtained. Federal and state law prohibits charging a fee for service, So that it states rules right off the beginning. That's the point, getting on. Now, the second page, I'm pulling this up page by page. I'll turn it off while it's up there because I just want to make sure that there's no, again, Megan has redacted. They were sending this out, again, pretty much fully unredacted too. So the information that was in here, it's also kind of crazy, isn't it? I mean, when you think about it, because they're not only sending out stuff, but again, they're not redacting anything that they send. I think that's wild. I do. I think that's wild to be mailing this out, to be giving that information. God knows who they sent information to. So I'm going to go to page 2. Let's go to it. I just think that's kind of wild when you think about it. The court hereby finds as jurisdiction over the party's subject matter. Respondent will be provided with reasonable notice. So you can see, when it was effective too. Time. You see the layout again. I'm showing the whole document. You deserve to know. Now they talk about, respondent shall not enter or interfere residence, school, business, place of employment, daycare centers, child care protective centers of the protected person named in that, including buildings, grounds, parking lots at those locations. Respondent may not violate this order even with permission. Again, so they're giving you an idea. You can't be messing with their residents. That's weird. You can't be messing around with their businesses, their places of employment, whatever. You can't mess with that. Here's also the respondent shall stay away from petitioner and all other protected persons named in this order, and shall not be present within 500 feet of any protected persons whenever that person, protected person may be found, or any place respondent knows or should know that protected person are likely to be, even with a protected person permission. Again, if the respondent accidentally comes in contact with a protected person in a public or private area, or the respondent, they must depart immediately. Not you linger, you take care of your business, you need to get the fuck out of there. See, that's the kicker there. And again, I said this yesterday. We seem to have a little disagreement on what this means, what it says. But it says immediately. You need to truck it on out. And the ecosystem, they seem to think, oh, well, that's an inconvenience. Of course it is. Of course it's an inconvenience. But that's what happens when you stalking people, trying to ruin their lives and more. When you make threats. I mean, they had the audacity to contact the police after the Walmart incident, pretending that in some way that they were in the right. It's wild. If I go into a business, again, I've had a protective order. Not only that, but I've gone into a store and the person was there, and it is their obligation to leave. I don't have to be like, oh my God, and leave. And yes, they pretend. You've got to think about the way that you feel in situations like that. See, Jeremy, they always talk about Jeremy. He's not scared. Oh, well, we're talking about a person that we know has brandished a firearm. We have heard a lot about, actually, when it comes to Preston talking about Cook and volatility and more. We've heard quite a few stories. And I'll tell you, that anxiousness, that nervousness, oh man, it's a terrible feeling. Living in fear, that's what that is. Nobody chooses to live in fear. The people, they make you. Now, it notes here too, order includes public and private roads, highways, and thoroughfares. So you notice that, like it includes roads. Huh. It's spelled out right there. This includes the road, So just to make it very clear. They're like, oh, well, he's trying to cause a situation, really, because he's driving down the road. They actually tried to found out from reading this, they're trying to say he could have gone a different way. Sure, he could have, but he doesn't have to. He shouldn't. Again, he doesn't have to be inconvenienced in his life. He can drive down the damn road. He doesn't have to change up the way he lives because of other people. They have to. Respondent shall not initiate or have any contact with the protected persons named in this order: business, place of employment, schools, daycare. Again, contact includes, but it's not limited to, landlines, cordless, cellular, digital telephone, text, instant messaging, email, voicemail, delivery service, social media, blogging, writing, electronic communication, posting a message, communication. So posting a message saying, hey, Jeremy Hales, that would be a violation, by the way. Just to note. Respondent, catch this, shall not cause or encourage any person to do any act prohibited in this order. So if you encourage another person to reach out and to make contact or to harass, when people come to your property and they start driving around and they start filming, say, George, for example, since George is in this. Now, you think about it. Would you consider that a violation if you're driving around hunting down George? If that were Preston or Cook, do you think that would be a violation? I mean, just you and me, just talking about this. Would you consider that a violation? Because I would say that if it's a violation for them to do it, then these other people that are coming there on their behalf that are doing this stuff, that would be a violation too. You can see everything when you look at all of the stuff that they're doing, you can see how this violates a protective order. I mean, it's wild when you think about it. Give me a second here. Can BBB represent these others in court also? Short tailing for Fed, I forget. Oh, here, I'll read that when we get to it. Okay. I saw somebody commenting on your super chat there. When we get to that, we'll talk about it. Let's see. Look for any other check marks on here. Give me a minute. Let me make sure nothing weird pops up in a box here. They make sure over and over again to tell you, you cannot, by the way, not in any way, shape, or form, have contact on it. Okay, now there's a process server page. We don't need to see that, so I'm skipping over that. Just a note, it will have a redundant page, just like you saw before. The order of protection. It spells out again, all the papers that we looked at with that too. It'll have a written out portion as well. Let's look at this. Give me 1 minute, pulling up another piece. You see where it's written in. Represented, it tells the who's there, the respondents proceeding pro se, petitioner presented credible testimony and evidence in support of a civil stalking protective order. The court specifically notes that petitioner and respondent are neighbors and their properties located in Florida. That this court order is issued in Ohio must be given full faith and credit pursuant to against the Violence Against Women Act. The court further notes that when the parties are located on their own property, that the distance is reduced to 10 feet. Okay, so it goes from 500 to 10 feet. When the parties are not on their respective properties, the distance remains 500 feet. So again, they have a 10-foot leeway. That's why 10 feet, 10 feet. That's why it's important. And they're like, oh, well, he's trying to cause blah, blah, blah. How is he doing that? Driving down the road? You've seen the roads down there too. It's wild as well. They complain about the speed. So at first it was Jeremy Hale speeds down through that road and it's dangerous because it's dangerous. He's going to get somebody hurt. Remember all of that? Now it's, he drove too slowly. He drives down the road too slowly and he films. And of course he films. I damn well I'd film everything. I would film everything. The court finds by preponderance of the evidence that respondent has knowingly engaged in a pattern of conduct that caused petitioner to believe that respondent would cause physical harm has caused mental distress, and the following order is equitable, fair, and necessary to protect the person named in the order from stalking offenses. So you see how that is worded out, again. So when they say, stalking, yeah, who is being protected against the stalking of another person and who continues to do it? Isn't that wild? I mean, you can see what this one's actually filled in. So you can see where they crossed out a bunch of stuff. Like, again, 9 is so important. You have redundancies in the paper, but that 9, again, other people can't be doing this for you either. Now, let me roll down through here. Like, that's something that just irritates me because a lot of the mess that has been going on is 100% a violation of that. Let's see. There's filings attached to this. Let me get a drink here. So you can the filings that are attached to this. You had Hales versus Preston. And again, like I said, ecosystem decided they were going to mail this out to everybody. So interesting, isn't it? Hey, Jeremy Hale's 3 in council by submits its answers to the honorable question. Can Florida law enforcement enforce an Ohio protective order? The court asked whether a Florida sheriff can enforce Ohio protective order. The answer to this question is yes. Yes, Florida sheriffs can indeed enforce this order. Just to make that clear, yes. Every protective order in Ohio is served with a 10C form, which states that this protective order is enforceable in all counties in Ohio and 50 states. Against Florida authorities would have the power to enforce this under the Violence Against Women Act. Its pertinent language, U.S. Code states, full faith and credit. Any protective order issued that is consistent with this subsection B of this section by the court of one state, Indian tribe, or territory shall be accorded full faith and credit by the court of another state, Indian tribe, or territory, and enforced by the court and law enforcement personnel of the other state, Indian tribal government, territory, as if it were the order of the enforcing state. So they have to treat it just like it was issued in Florida. Just clearing that up. You know, there have been some people that are very confused on how this stuff works too. It was issued in Ohio, yes, but it very much can be enforced. This is where, now the reason I mention that is because the Ohio courts have been on the ball with this. You know, they've talked about it. They've actually found violations and stuff that has gone on, but Florida, they seem to not want to get involved. And that is dangerous. They can call it anything they want. Do you think because a person has an internet channel that they're not in danger? Have you seen how many bad things have happened to people that have channels? So for Levy County not to do anything there, pretend that this stuff somehow, you know, they're not going to do anything, huh? Now, can this court issue a protective order that for actions that occurred outside the state of Ohio? Now, the second question was, can it grant a protective order for actions that occurred out of the state of Ohio? The answer to that is also yes. Yes, indeed, it can. A civil stalking protective order is based on meeting the elements of, they give you the statute there. Menacing by stalking is defined to say, no person by engaging in a pattern of conduct shall knowingly cause another person to believe that the offender will cause physical harm to the other person or a family or a household member of the other person, or cause mental distress to the other person, The revised code goes on to state that no person may use any method of electronic communication to commit menacing by stalking or incite others to commit menacing by stalking. There's the other. They cannot incite others to do it. So again, this whole ecosystem idea, when they've gone in physically, I'm not talking about picking up a mic and talking about things. I'm talking about, again, utilizing cameras on other people's property, going down there physically, filming people, saying that you're in this area, that, we're going to canvas. We found out all of these stories like that. How is that not? The very language of this statute anticipates a world wherein internet communication can be an offense for menacing by stalking. The internet online communications erase all boundaries, state lines, and allow for a pattern of harassment, which Mr. Hales testified affected his health and well-being. The language of menacing by stalking only requires a pattern of conduct happening closely in time. Previous courts have stressed that a pattern of conduct means 2 or more events. Mr. Hales has testified to a series of events starting in May and continuing throughout the summer and up to the hearing in front of this honorable court. There has never been a requirement that the conduct happen exclusively in the state of Ohio. Why counsel has had only a short time to conduct legal research on the matter. Counsel has been unable to find any proceeding for matters occurring in other states to be excluded from consideration. The logic that can best be followed here is this. In the event that a party is being stalked, it is likely the stalker would not dissuade by county lines or boundaries. From a policy standpoint, the state of Ohio has an interest in protecting its citizens no matter where they travel. Instead, looking at a statutory language crafter here, the plain language itself gives the honorable court the ability to grant Mr. Hale's protection. So this answered questions there. Hey, those two questions are important, by the way. All right. Now we also have, and again, we went over this stuff, but I really want to look at this with it fresh in my brain here. All right, check this stuff out. Here is the matter came before the court on a motion to show whether respondent element OP should not be held in contempt of court for violation of full civil stalking protective order issued November 1st, 2023. Hearing was called January the 10th. Again, you go over clients, you have the attorney with Jeremy Hales. You have Preston appearing via video. At the commencement of the hearing, Preston made an oral motion to continue the hearing. She did not give a written motion, though. So since she didn't do that, it was opposed and it was denied because she did not do that correctly. She wanted to kick it down the road is what she wanted to do. And they didn't allow her to do that. So Petitioner Jeremy Hales presented testimony and evidence in support of a motion for contempt. Hales testified as to the following. So October 29th, 2023, he says, hey, I'm going to be returning to Florida. Now, when he does that, he presents himself at the sheriff's department. He's doing this. He's going to provide them with an order of protection. He testifies that when he arrives at the parking lot, Preston and Cook, they're in the parking lot parked in a handicap spot. Preston's driving. She moved her vehicle to a spot immediately next to his vehicle. He identifies an Exhibit A, which is a photograph taken. It shows that there's a truck with a trailer. That's his vehicle. And beside the truck is a white Jeep Gladiator that belongs to her. Now, he sees her close to the vehicle. He notes that there are many other spaces out there. Again, a town of 100, which that's brought up. So he testified that she knows his vehicle too. And he's like, hey, man, fear and anxiety. Again, I'm just going blow by blow. I'm not reading every word here, just telling you what this says. You can see the sentences right here in front of you. But again, if you've ever dealt with a situation, not just like this, but you've ever dealt with a situation in which you're dealing with people you don't want to deal with, period, or somebody that you might consider dangerous. Yes, fear and anxiety. And they already have a protective order against them. That's what you have to remember in this. So he identifies Exhibit B. Now, this is fascinating. This stuff gets really interesting because LMNOP will say that this isn't her at first, and then she will admit that this is her group. So he brings up this post. He says that this post he thinks is about him. He says that it was posted in the group called Otter Creek Standing. It's either Truth or The Truth. I don't know which is which. I don't know if it's In the Truth, because they say In Truth a couple of times and they say In the Truth. In the Truth sounds like you're stepping in something, So again, I'll need to look at that for clarification, but it doesn't really matter except the name gets funny with that. So he testifies that the group was created after the issuance of the protective order in October 2023. He testifies that this, he believes, is aimed at him in violation of protective order. Lie's a lie. Even if everybody believes it, truth is truth, even if nobody believes it. So Exhibit C, there's a screenshot there. He notes that this was made in November 2023. Testifies that the post contains statements. I'm sorry. There was another one too, that it noted interactions between Hales and Preston and Cook on the street. Hales testified it was his belief that the post was directed at him. So Hales testified that he was leaving his property. John Cook was in the middle of the road. Hales testifies that as he approaches Cook, Hales testifies as he approaches Cook, Hales was in his vehicle. Cook was standing in the middle of the road. Hales verbally warns him that, hey, 10 feet, 10 feet. That's in violation of the protective order. Hales testifies that Cook refuses to remove himself and that Preston told Cook, you're okay. Now, she makes it worse. This is going to be funny because she's going to make this worse. Egging him to stay in the middle of it, violating. Cook made no effort to remove himself, and Preston made the post about it. He identifies Exhibit C as a screenshot from social media post from Standing in Truth. You can see it goes from standing in the truth to standing truth. Hales testifies that Exhibit D, it's a post by Preston relating to alleged actions by Cook. These include, we're building a fence to protect her and us from a stalker and you. Hales testified that this is a small percentage of the posts that she made related to him. Now, he identifies Exhibit C as a copy of the Civil Protective Order. This document was posted online on social media sites Standing in Truth. He believes that that is harassment too. So she posted a portion of the thing, which is fascinating because he doesn't ever post it. He doesn't talk about it. He's talked about certain specifics with it, but he's not posted the document. He's not made content with it. The way that subject was avoided, you could tell, you could tell that he was trying to follow some kind of an order with it. You could just tell. So that had been something I hadn't even looked up. I mean, you had agreement that a protective order existed, and therefore, but the ecosystem decided to go further, mail it out to God knows who, and to use it and try to weaponize it. It's fascinating too. So Darth Touch and Paint Chips, they are now trying to get Jewish groups to go after Jeremy Hales. They've been mailing this. I mean, they're doing all this stuff. You have to wonder how far they can go before they end up helping violate something too. So Hales identifies Exhibit F, multiple copies of the Civil Protective Order being posted on Otter Creek's social media site, and that the posting was designed to harass him, and that she didn't take the order seriously. The court noted that the exhibit was not legible, but Hales testified to his knowledge of the post. So Hales identifies a video, E. Now, in this video, it was taken by George. Hales testifies that the video shows Preston entering the parking lot of the Otter Creek Post Office. We heard a lot about this, by the way. This was fascinating because we find out this was a violation, even though when they talked about it, they were like, no, this was nothing. The police, well, the judge thought it was for sure. So she parks immediately next to Martha's vehicle and then enters. Now, Hales testifies that, again, there's less than 100 people here and that she did this purposefully and remained in the post office after seeing George. Hales believes that Preston is doing that to dishonor the civil stock and protective order. Now, in cross-examination, Preston accused Hales of not showing full videos and editing videos. Now, Hales denies he edited videos. Preston questions Hales related to the incident at the sheriff's parking lot. Preston also, asked Hales if she saw the sheriff's deputy directing her where to park. Hales said, no, I did not see that. I didn't see that at all, and denied hearing a sheriff say anything to her. Hales testified that the sheriff made Preston move her vehicle from next to his. So not only he's saying, hey, that's not only not right, but you had to move because of them. Preston questioned Hales as to the existence of a longer video with the Otter Creek Post Office. Hales acknowledged that the video shows Preston looking at George, parking next to George's vehicle, remaining at the post office despite knowing that George is in the post office. Hales testifies that during the incident in the street He did see John Cook on a walker. He denied knowing how long Cook was in the street. He acknowledged that when he pulled out of his driveway, he saw Cook in the street. Hales acknowledged that he could have taken a different route that would not have required him to drive by. Again, you don't have to do that, though. See, this is the stupidest talking points ever. You don't have to do that. So Preston accuses him of being the author. Now, this is where it gets fun, all right? She accuses him of being the author and the poster of the social media site Standing in Truth. He says, no. Now, she screws this up later on. She'll admit that was actually her posting. So she's like, it's actually your group. You did it. You did all of this. Okay. So Preston testifies as follows in the defense of the motion. So she denies being prosecuted in Florida for any violations of Ohio order. She alleged that Hales has violated the Florida order, which Florida order, okay. So Preston testified as to the road incident that she was on the phone with an advocate from Ohio. Again, I'd like to know who the advocate from Ohio is, who we're talking about there. That would be an interesting addition to that. When Hales comes down the road and approaches Cook, Preston shows a video that she took. Okay, so she has a video that she enters. Now, this gets fun too here. So the video is marked Exhibit A. The video shows the interaction. The video shows Hales driving slowly down the road saying 10 feet, 10 feet. Also during the video, Cook can be heard saying, suck my D. So it looks even worse. That video catches something that wasn't there before, makes it look worse. In the video, Preston directs Cook to talk to her and not to Hales. Now, as to the post office incident, Preston testified she didn't see George's vehicle when she pulls up. She testified that she parked in a handicapped spot, ran quickly into the post office. She said that she never looked left and didn't see Martha. She submitted Exhibit B as video that was posted on Hale's YouTube site with commentary from Hales. Preston said she would have never gone to the post office if she would have known that that George was there, and testified that she had made efforts to avoid Hales and that she's afraid. She's afraid because of the fans. What do the fans have to do with this? Where are fans at? Well, they're not anywhere there. So she denied posting the items on the social media page, Standing in Truth. Preston accuses Hales of manipulating the social media page. This will get interesting in a minute, okay? Promise you. She testified that she was in the sheriff's office to show a deputy an unrelated item on her phone. She testified that the deputy directed her on how to park, that she was not parked near Hales. Preston testified she did not know Hales was going to be at the sheriff's office. Now, there were multiple objections during all this. Now, look, so she admits she's an author of a website called Heart of Arthur Creek. Wait, okay, now this is going to be good. Listen to this. She testifies that she uses the social media forum to defend herself. All right, so she denies that she has the social media exhibit D. All right. Going to get interesting at 21. Just keep this here. So she testified that at the post office, she saw Connor West's vehicle, did not see George. Upon cross-examination, she admits that she has a Facebook page, Otter Creek Standing in the Truth. She admits she's in control of the page. Wait, what? So if you want something that shows that she lies, it's right here. It's recorded in this. She was called out for posting something on this group. She denied doing it. In fact, she pointed at Jeremy Hales and said, Jeremy Hales is the one that's doing it. She attacks him for it, goes after him while again denying that she has any control over it. But under cross-examination, she ends up admitting that yes, she does have a Facebook page. That is that page, and that she is controlling the page. Huh. Now, you don't think that's going to come up elsewhere? Okay. So she lied directly to the court. Directly. But she admits that she was in the sheriff's office at the same date as the protected parties. She admits She was in the post office the same date as George. The exhibits are entered. The court did strike the admission of F. So everything but an exhibit F were allowed. All right. They also they note again items with this. Counsel for petitioner requests leave to submit supplemental affidavit for court fees. To date, nothing on that had been filed. Now, pursuant to, again, you can see the Ohio revised, a person who violates protective order issued under this is subject to the following sanctions: criminal prosecution for a violation under. If the violation of protective order constitutes a violation of that section, punishment for contempt of court. Enforcement generally is through contempt proceeding at a trial court. A party cannot be found in contempt if the contempt charge is premised on a party's failure to obey an order of the court, and the order is not clear, definite, and unambiguous and subject to dual interests. However, an order is not ambiguous merely because a party misunderstands an order. And a misunderstanding, that's not a defense. So they're telling you, you can't say, I don't understand this. That's not defense. To be ambiguous, the order must be unclear. You have to be able to interpret it in dual interpretations. I could look at this and say, well, that could mean one thing or the other. The power to find an individual in contempt of court is inherent in the court as necessary to the exercise of judicial function. As the primary interest involved in the contempt proceedings is the authority, proper function of the court. Great reliance is placed on the trial judge's discretion in this. The burden of proof of civil contempt is clear and convincing evidence. So, pursuant to, in all contempt proceedings, court shall conduct a hearing. So they talk about how the hearing goes. If the accused is found guilty, the court can impose. So they tell you about, again, first, second, and third. With the first offense, talking about $250, they could put you in jail up to 30 days. A person acts knowingly, regardless of the purpose, when he is aware of his conduct will probably cause a certain result or will probably be a certain nature. A party knows of circumstances when he is aware that such circumstances probably exist. The weight given the evidence and the credibility of witnesses are issues for the trier of fact. Trier of fact is best able to view the witnesses and observe their demeanor, their gestures, voice inflection. So the trier of fact gets to see and weigh these things accordingly, So it says then the full civil stalking protective order, when it was issued November 1st, 2023, it's very clear on what it says. You saw it again, how far away. Additionally, in the narrative section, the court included where they talk about, again, 10 feet, 500 feet. We saw that. Upon review and consideration, they say that she knowingly violated the protective order. Catch that. Knowingly. She knew she was violating care. Specifically, the court finds the following incidents to be violations. The incident at the sheriff's office. That is a violation. That's her violating. Now, again, Cook has his own proceedings, which is a different thing. But as far as this, Preston, he testified that Preston drove her vehicle within 500 feet of his vehicle while parked at the sheriff's office. The court did not find credible her testimony saying that she was directed to park there. So says that was knowing and willful. The incident at the post office. Hales presented a video of the protected party, George, at the post office. The video shows Preston entering, accessing a P.O. box. George is in a separate section, but the distance matters. Remember, they were talking about, well, there's a window. It doesn't matter. That doesn't matter at all. It's a distance thing. However, testified she said, well, I didn't see the vehicle, essentially. So they're like, Hale's testified there are less than 100 people in the town. She should have been able to tell that the vehicle's there. You know who vehicle's whose. The court specifically does not find the internet postings to be a violation of the CPO. There's no direct communication. While the court finds it problematic that any party is posting copies of the protective order, the evidence presented herein was insufficient to find that she was in contempt for that. So accordingly, for this stuff, she's fined $50, told, hey, don't you do that again. She's warned that the 5-year civil protective order remains in place. She should have no further contact. The motion for contempt is well taken and it's granted. It's well taken. So when you're looking at this, again, they have said so many things about this stuff, pretending that in somehow, in some way, she didn't violate. But you see it right here. I mean, it's very clear, very concise. And not only that, but she laid down the groundwork where she lied to the court, because that's what you do, right? That's what you do. That's what you do if you're crazy. I mean, I swear, why would you lie to the court like that? That is so nuts. Let's hit some super chats now. Let's start. AC, I'm going to say. AC, thank you. Sent 25 through PayPal. Thank you for that, by the way. That is amazing. I appreciate you kicking that off. Thank you very much. Cheryl sent $10 as well. There's Cheryl. What's up, Cheryl, by the way? Thank you as always. Appreciate you. Good to see you too. Sticky Widget kicked off 5 gifted memberships. Thank you, Sticky. Appreciate you, my friend. That's awesome. Thank you. Barnyard Sally. What's up, Barnyard Sally? Thank you for that membership. Thank you. Welcome. Thank you for your membership. Welcome to Tugs Thugs. Thank you for that. Appreciate it. The Ball Python King. What's up, man? I love that, by the way. Thank you for the gifted membership. That's awesome. Nessa, thanks for the 2 there. An evening of belly busting. Laughs ahead. Love it. Indeed. Indeed. And we'll catch up the other part. Again, I've got a big doctor's appointment tomorrow anyway. I don't know what'll happen tomorrow. If I'm here in time, I will live stream. You know, if I get back, we'll definitely live stream. But I do have a doctor's appointment. So we'll see. We'll see how that plays. But there could be anything that goes on tomorrow too. Who knows? We still have, we have so much going on. So who knows? Fallen Hero, what's up? 26 months there. Not a statement, man, but 26 months is a statement. You're here all the time too. Thank you, buddy. Weez Will, thanks for the 10 there. For the Tutlick Candy Fun. Thank you for that. I'm going to definitely have them out. They're going to be on the hunt tomorrow, I'm sure. Max Lab, what's up, man? Thanks for the 2 there. And by the way, I forget to give Max Lab a shout for yesterday. You know, again, Max Lab is always on the ball, sending documents. I just didn't, I don't know why, man. My brain, I feel like I'm in a cloud some days. Like I said, with this newer medication, it's funny and weird. I probably say some crazy things some days. Who knows? I probably get names wrong. But I forgot that one, and it did bother me. So props to you, Max Lab. Thank you, buddy. So AJ Stone, howdy, Tugster. Well, howdy back at you, my friend. I hope you're doing good too. And dropped 20 gifted membership. That's wild, man. I saw those fall in. Like I said, I saw those hitting. That's awesome, dude. Thank you. I love gifted memberships. They're one of my favorite thing on this app. Weezy Wills, thanks for 2. Sticking it to all the haters. I know the haters, man. They hate it. So it's awesome. It's funny. Hippie Witch, thanks for the 2 there. This is not a statement, but backing is a statement. Thank you, Hippie Witch. Mad Hatter, thanks for the 2. Breadsticks. Thank you. Breadsticks, indeed. Emmy, thanks for the 5 there. Megan, put some quarters in the computer. We need you here. Indeed. Megan actually, like she had said earlier, she had noted that she hadn't been feeling good on the day. You know, she'd been playing video games and wasn't feeling the greatest. So I was like, well, you know, she said the games helped a bit. So I was like, well, you know, we'll see how the day goes. But I mean, some days, like I said, I'm not the person to be like, oh, I get how not feeling good some days goes. You know, I I've had a few of my own, so it's all gravy. Oh, Catherine, thanks for the 5. Didn't collaborators face firing squads in World War II? Yeah, collaborator is a terrible word. That's what I'm saying, for sure. Collaborator is not the word you want to use. When they talk about the old Yahtzees, you know, they don't use any words besides collaborator, do they? And that's usually they use the Yahtzees and they talk about their collaborator. So not exactly the best choice, but hey, what do I know, right? Red Wolf, thanks for 5. Does Red Wolf need to go bite him? Or will I get royal poisoning? Might even get a case of the fleas. Yes, indeed, you might. Be careful, Red Wolf. Be careful. What's your safety? Dan Davis, thanks for the 2 there. RIP Gene Hackman and his wife. Oh my gosh, have y'all seen that, by the way? That's terrible, first of all. Rest in peace for real, Gene Hackman. That's terrible. But he, his wife, and their dog were found. And at first they were like, no foul play. Okay. Then they come back and they say, well, it's suspicious. They say there's no gas or anything that was found leaking, and they're not sure. You know, if you start reading up on it, I'm like, man, you know, Hackman was 95 and his wife was 60 something. I can't remember. Man, all of it's tragic. No matter what happened there, it's tragic. But it sounds horrible too. You know, that sounds horrible so many ways. Also today, if you didn't hear, this really irritated me. So there was a certain island hopping weirdo. You know who I'm talking about. Had some files out there. Everybody's wanted to see. You know, they want to see him because they want to know who he was doing business with before he, let's say he left the world. That's the best way to go. Well, those files were supposed to drop today. We got a bunch of redacted files. When I say redacted, I'll make this clear. We're not talking redacted protecting victims. We're talking about lots of redaction, like entire pages sometimes. That was very annoying. Also, what was very annoying through it was instead of releasing it to the people at first, the government released those files to, they like to use the word, I hate this term, but we'll use it anyway. Social media influencers, you know, people that they figured they wanted to have it first. And it shouldn't go to, I'd have a problem if it went to the mainstream media or if it went to social. I don't care. You know, it should be going to us first. We should all have it available right at the same time. Shouldn't be parading around with it. It was such a misstep because, you know, there was so much talk about it. We'll see. They say that this is part 1 of 4. Boy, if they don't produce something in this, people are going to go crazy. That John Baker, thanks for the 2. Deleting is another word for more charges. Yes, indeed. Actually, deleting is a problem for them because if they go and they delete things, a court can look at that and say, that is an admission of wrongdoing. You know, you taking information that we know exists, and we know like certain channels, they have been well documented. There have been a lot of people that have documented them and the stuff that they've done. And when they've been ghosting items after being told, hey, you need to preserve that stuff. Yeah, they know better. They absolutely know better. And again, we know that there are communications between quite a few of those folks. We've actually seen some of that accidentally brought up. We've had multiple admissions of it when you have a certain person who likes to sit in chats and tell them exactly what to read and more, that they're emailing things to them and everything else. You know that stuff is going on. And there are transcripts of probably every video out there. Videos that are ghosted too. I mean, they can be subpoenaed from YouTube. I imagine they keep some kind of a digital file on it. So yeah, that's bad. But I mean, you can direct a court, or a court rather can direct people to say, yeah, that's an admission. So that's even worse. Hey, T42, thanks for 11 months. Thanks to Kid on the replay crew. Hey, good to have you. No matter how you get here, appreciate you. Miss PJ, thank you for that membership. Thank you. Welcome. Thank you for the membership. Welcome to Tux Thugs. Man, I had a hummingbird last year. Man, I loved that thing, by the way. This hummingbird guy is so accustomed to coming out that I could I gotten where I wanted to see if it would get closer and closer. I didn't want to scare it, or I just wanted to see how close it would get. So I got to the point where it would come out at a specific time every day, and it would feed from this feeder. So with the feeder, I started unhooking it and holding it by this little metal peg, holding it out a little bit myself and putting my hand closer to it, like just a little bit. And over like weeks and weeks, I got it closer until there was no more metal peg. I was holding it. My hand was right up against it, and that freaking hummingbird would come up and land right on my hand. It was kind of awesome. I put a glove on, something where, I didn't want anything that I might have come in contact with that caused the bird any issues, but I just wanted to see if it could become comfortable with the human presence, because it lives somewhere close by. So I thought that was pretty awesome. Your avatar made me think of that. Heidi, thanks for the 25 there. The size 14 new shoe funds and stuff. Listen, from shaking so badly in fear. I know. I'm so afraid. I've never seen, you know what? I saw Ghostbusters and I saw Milltown stomping around that city. Pillsbury. Oh my God. I swear to God, these people, man, they're so ridiculous. Jad, what's up, 2012? Thanks for the 2 there. Co-conspirator is gone at a lot of parties, y'all. Well, it's fascinating that, again, they don't want to call themselves all of these different words. They want to say, oh, we're just working together, right? We're collaborators. It's like, okay. Allie, thanks for the 2. Mealtime Pest was playing sad music. Was he? Was he playing sad music too? I imagine, like I caught that one video. I've not watched a lot of his video because they bore me. I mean, they absolutely bore me. And that is the worst crime ever. But I ended up catching part of, again, Storage Boy and him when all of that stuff popped off over David the Donor. I caught all of that, and it was, they were born, the chat was wild. They dropped the ball again and again. And I caught him by himself whining. And I mean, he was whining about how mean the chat and everybody was to him. It blew my mind to see. I was like, are you kidding me? One thing you never do, you never turn on your audience. Ever. You can call out, like if you have a problem with behavior of 1 or 2 people, like you mentioned that, but you never turn on your audience because they are your channel. They built your channel. You would think somebody had been doing this, they said for 18 years, would know better. He got his feels up in a wad and went after his channel and more. And then to come back and to try misdirection and pretend that David the Donor, this guy again, gave tens of thousands of dollars. This guy doesn't have a complaint. It's all just internet drama. Grow some stones, son. Like you act like you want to stand for something. Well, why don't you stand up for that guy? Why don't you really ask for transparency? And why don't you say that it should be public? You don't believe that? I mean, you say you're covering court cases and wanted to show all of this stuff that's happening and expose it. Well, it looks like you got something that potentially needs exposing right next to you, but you're so scared that these people will cut you off. I mean, they haven't really cut you in, have they? Maybe they have, but as far as channel wise, yeah, your channel is it's dead. I mean, sure, David the Donor may have hooked you up, but besides that, your channel it's operating. If it's not dead, it's definitely on life support. You got a couple of 100 people there, and again, I'm not insulting the size there, but I'm saying that they haven't hooked you up in any way. It reminds me of the way that other people have been treated. Like there are certain people that get theirs. But everybody else, they can sit on the sidelines and they can suffer. But you're so afraid of losing what you have that you won't even stand up for the guy that, well, he's put a lot of that money in your pocket too. He put it in again with super chats. So that isn't donations, it's super chats. But you'd think you would want to stand up for him, but you don't. All you want to stand, again, you want more super chats, but you won't stand up for the guy. That's disgusting. Anyway. Sarah, thanks for the 2. It should be called Muletown's Worst. Indeed. Allie, thanks for the 2. They collaborate. You report very different. Yeah, they have. That's right. If I have somebody come on my channel and goof off, that's awesome. I also interview. If I have somebody like a Jeremy come on, I'm getting his opinions on something. I'm interviewing him. He's not a collaborator, nor am I a collaborator on his channel. I don't expect anything from being there. He doesn't expect anything from when he comes on my channel. We're not collaborating, making videos. That's so bizarre. It's just a weird way that they put that together. 2012, thanks to I can survive Tug, but I'm part of the Lug Army. Indeed, for sure. I hear you, buddy. Props to you, man, too. 2012 has been here forever. Rogue Mama, thanks for the 2. Today's Rosalind's birthday. Chi-Chi song, please. All right. Rosalind, by the way, for real, thank you for being here all the time. Man, I appreciate you, Rosalind, for sure. Love to you, and you get some happy birthday time. Happy birthday. Happy birthday. We all want to say, hey, happy birthday, happy birthday. Yes, we want to say, hey. I love that song. I love how easy it is. I can sing happy birthday to you, but I like the Chi-Chi song better. Just imagine yourself with people dancing around you and me putting a giant sombrero on your head. 2012, thanks for the additional 2 there, Tug. I challenge you. To a duel of y'alls on 3. Yeah, no thanks. Well, I'll let you yawl it out in the forest on your own. It's hilarious. 2012. Dan Davis also said, hey, happy birthday to Rosalind. Indeed, happy birthday. I didn't realize it was your birthday there. Happy birthday to you. That is awesome. Amy, thanks for the 20 there. Jeremy's always stated that his first priority is the child, then the people, including him, yeah. And George, and the animals. Dave involved himself in this, and his concern is his mental health. Yes, it's me. Yeah, and many of these people have directly injected themselves into this stuff, which is wild. Like I said, I look at stuff, I talk about it, I talk about some of the players that come up here and there, but it ain't about me. It ain't about me at all. Some of them want it to be. They go there. They make sure that they're part of it. What's up, kiddo?
The syphilis and Sissy or maybe go ahead and because of.
Hey, why don't you tell us about the that paper, candy paper you were saying, right?
Yeah, paper candy.
Paper candy. So,
yeah. But it's not candy. You just draw and then eat.
So you can draw on the paper and then eat it. It's paper candy. I've never seen that before. I looked online and saw some, but I've never seen that before. So we'll have to look and see if we see some while we're out. Does that sound good?
Right. Yeah, but don't tonight.
All right. Well, you got to go get you some rest, because if you're going to go with me tomorrow, you better go get rest. Okay. All right. And we'll look tomorrow and see if we see it. All right. Huh? What?
You know that donut we have, the last now donut?
Donuts?
Yeah.
We'll see what's there tomorrow, okay? We'll see what's what tomorrow, okay?
I'm going to take out a donut, though.
Okay, well, if there's well...
There's a donut.
Okay.
One more donut.
Okay.
We need to buy more donuts.
Okay, we'll have to buy some more donuts. Okay.
I'm going to eat that donut.
Okay. Close my door, okay? All right. She's been telling me about candy paper. I've never seen it before. I was like, candy paper? Yeah. And I looked it up and I was like, hey, that's weird. So it's just, candy that you have a decoration pin right on it, which is kind of cool. So she really wants that. I've never seen it while I'm out. Like I said, I've seen it online. So that's interesting. Rebel Bird, thank you. Before I got distracted there, Rebel Bird, thanks for the $10 super sticker on that. And thank you also, Rebel Bird. Always here, keeping the peace, keeping the crazy out. Thank you. Or keeping the crazy in, whatever. But still, thank you. Spin Doctor, thanks for the find. Oh, yeah, talking about the hero thing. I'll take things that never happened for 200, Alex. Indeed. I thought that was just nuts. Jesse, thanks for the 4 months. You guys are awesome. You guys always make me laugh. Honestly, the anti-Hales, our anti-what-the-hales ecosystem needs to shut up and face the consequences of their actions. It'd be very easy for them just to be honest. I mean, how hard would that be? Be honest about what's been going on, you know? Like, stop lying about everything in this. See, it's so bizarre. I heard somebody say the other day that everybody's to blame. And I'm like, how would you react in this situation? If this were happening to you, how would you react? And people always come up with an answer. And really, I think the correct answer is you don't know how you would react. Like, that's the true answer in this. You have no idea how you would honestly react. Because most people haven't been in a situation like this. They've never had, their name and business tied to something. They can be destroyed just so easily. You know how fragile these setups are. And to have people conspire to ruin you, not just one person. You got a protective order. He's done that. He did that legally. He went out, the right way and addressed it. And the behavior got worse. It got worse, much worse. So, it's nuts. And now when you look at the amount of money, you can see why people will never back off of it. I mean, my God. People aren't looking at a couple of $100 here and there. We're talking tens of thousands of dollars. When one person is dropping over 50K on you, there's another big donor in there too. By the way, I got thinking more about the memorial thing. And the more I think about it, the crazier that is. Again, the 2 sticks of wood with some plastic flowers attached and a no trespassing sign. Now, the no trespassing sign, I think, is the biggest item in all of that because it tells you that this is not about memorial. It's about drama. Like, that tells you point blank they were pointing drama in somebody's direction, and again, anything could have happened to those 2 pieces of wood. But I feel like that's all misdirection. I feel like really all of it is just another thing so people can come back and attack Jeremy Hales. It's so bizarre. I'd be like this too. I would not. Maybe this makes me an ass. You tell me, okay? If people involve me in drama and start coming after me, I would never open my property up and allow them to put anything on it. Maybe that makes me a horrible person. But if you start trying to attack me and try to ruin me, I would never give him permission again. And I haven't heard him say no permission there, but I would. I'd be like, no. You can't do that. Like, these people are trying to ruin him. So they wouldn't have my permission anyhow. Forget the 2 sticks for anything. Like, they tried to turn this, this has become drama. And people tried to make money off of that and to try to sully his reputation some more. Fuck everybody that we get involved in that. I would not allow anybody anywhere near me or anything I have. That would just be my opinion on it, period. Now, again, what happened with, who cares about 2 stand sticks? Are really going to tell me that's a memorial? Honestly. I mean, again, somebody decided they would put a no trespass sign up there too. That's not a memorial. Like, that's really what catches my attention in it, If it's my land and somebody's posting it. I mean, look at this. You tell me that this is a memorial. This keeps getting brought up. See, I've seen some wrote something. But this, like, what the hell? There's admissions that wasn't posted like by a landowner or whatever. This was posted, this is posted for drama. Oh, we had that. And you look at the way that all of this has been brought, just all drama. It's ugly. It's yet another way to try to cause him problems. So ugly. Oh, yeah, 2012 said, thank you. Lug tells better stories by me. No, she does. She's actually much better at it. I have to agree. She tells all kinds of good ones. She still does. Her stories have become much more elaborate. John, thanks for the 2. What does the fox say? Don't touch me. Indeed. I thought that was funny, actually. That was really funny. Green Veggie Beast, thanks for 2. Why don't you give a lawyer Viagra? Why don't you? I know. Oh, no, I'm afraid. I'm afraid of the real answer with that. AFK, thanks for the 10. Mark was accused of the bribe. Okay. It didn't come to fruition, right? But Mark sent an unredacted court recording when nothing was redacted in the official redacted version of the recording. Well, it's so bizarre, again, how many people have been accused of taking bribes. They're accusing their own lawyers of taking bribes. Their PR team is. And to me, that's crazy. That is absolutely crazy. It hasn't been limited to Jeremy and other people. It's gone on more. It's daily dysfunction. Because I found out I had a mini heart attack. Wow, just in case you don't see me in the chat for a extended period of time. Know that I appreciate you. And chat, I hope you take care of yourself. You let us know how you are. You don't have to come to hang out or anything. I want to know you're okay. All right? For sure. My love and support is with you, yours. But make sure that I know that you're doing okay, if you would. If anything else, just let me know about that. Anytime you want to hang out or do whatever, just come in, goof off. But like I said, with your health, I just like to know that you're doing okay. And make sure you're looked after. Crystal, thanks for the 29 months. Hashtag forever. I love you both. Y'all, indeed. Yeah, I do miss hashtags in a way. I do. It's just part of the culture, so it is weird to get rid of them, isn't it? Robert, thanks for the 5 tugs. Someone sent you a picture of the drowning story. Did they? Let me see. Did they send it in the mail? Give me a second. Let me look. Give me a second here. I want to see it. Oh, I thought it was real. I thought you had something. I thought you really found that drowning story. So I'll have to download those images. They are funny. I'll have to put those in. I thought you had really found the drowning story. I was like, oh my God, does it exist for real? That would be, like I said, you find that drowning story, I really would read it. So I thought that's funny. Thank you, Preble. Thank you for sending it, dude. It's nuts. I'll have to download it. Wanda, thanks to do. Hey, Tug and Megan. Hey, I hope you're doing great, by the way, Wanda. Appreciate you. Kelly, thanks for 5. Can we be representative these others in court? In another filing, you would think if he is a conspirator in something, he could not be a lawyer attached to it. So that would be his problem. With that big filing, if his name is on it and it's accepted, again, there's a lot that has to be overcome. I want that to be clear too. When I talk about this stuff, like I said, I try to be honest in my feelings about this. And court cases are hard to get moving. 100%. You have to go through, you have to fight it on multiple levels. Jeremy, they have given him quite a bit to arm up with. And we'll see. I think BBB's given a lot. But we'll see. Again, the court has to agree. I think that 2L1 has given a lot. Like statement of facts that are very damaging. Of course, you have the original folks attached, but I don't know about a lot of the other people. Now, Ray the other day gave a lot. That what he said after, wow, I could not believe it. I've been joking about that, but we really do need a Rumble exclusive to talk about that, because that is nuts. What he put out there was nuts. So we need to cover that too. But with other folks, is Bruce shirt telling? Better forget. If he has to shirt tell, I wonder if the other lawyer will allow it. So he's in federal court. He had to get permission to be attached to that case. Now, this new case that's come up, the Fed, like, again, if that, again, it depends. If it went forward like it is, no, he couldn't represent all that, because I mean, again, he would be he'd be a co-conspirator involved in it. So that would be his problem in it. And again, there's a lot. This is the earliest stage of that. So we'll see how all of that goes too. I mean, trials, like I said, there's a lot of times and there's a lot of filing. You look at how much has gone on, for example, with the Trespass 5. We haven't gone anywhere with that. Although I will say, interestingly, and I keep forgetting to bring this up, that we are looking at depot. We're going to be looking at some depot pretty soon when it comes to LMNOP. So that will be really fascinating, won't it? Liz, thanks for the 2. JP said LP will accuse silver scam. Yes, he did say that, and he's right. Here's the thing: any of them do something that you didn't on a long enough timeline, they're all going to turn on one another. They all will. And that'll be the fascinating thing, because what you get to see sooner or later, especially if this does not go in any way like she expects or want, if she ends up on the hook for money, real money, you don't think these people would throw each other under the bus like that? I'm curious about who will, again, maybe turn on the other ones anyway, trying to step out of the way of this stuff. You know, they already have enough leaks over there, so it'll be fascinating to see who comes out publicly and turns. Mad Hatter, what's up, Mad Hatter Matt? Thanks for 5. So let's be clear. All these fools jump on board during a lawsuit, now federal, and ramp up their stalking, being sued now. They earn what is next. Indeed, all they had to do was cover a case. If they wanted to cover, if you don't have, the thing that bothers me is they don't have to like, say, Jeremy Hales. They don't have to like him. They can talk about whatever with it. But instead of doing that, look how far some of them have gone. Now, like I said, I'm not commenting on all of them because I don't know what's there. I feel it is not fair of me to comment on some channels and not know where they are in something. But again, I've given my opinions on at least 2 parties that are involved, extra parties. I think they have definitely crossed a line. They could be sued for what they've done. It has been absolute insanity what they have brought there. Lady Tammy, thanks for the 5. What a lot of people also forget is that by being her lawyer, Bubbles is her. Yes, that's true. Yes, BBB is her. Yes, that is his name, and her actions are her. Yes, that is 100% true. When he goes out and he's harassing and more as her lawyer, she can be held liable for stuff that he does. That is 100%. Very much so. Laura, thanks for the 249. Bring back your squeaky chair. I know my other chair sounded like it was in the death throb. Now, this one will squeak if I rock it, but this one's pretty quiet. It's also more comfortable. I tell you, I'm set up here. With everything that's going on, I've gotten I put a pillow to sit on. I got a little pillow for my back. I got a pillow for my head. I got a heating blanket. I'm decked out over here. I'm sitting like I'm 150, but I'm comfortable. It's funny. Janie, thanks for the vibe. AG said she was removing victims' names, 200 to 250. I read today she's waiting on the FBI for more papers that they have hidden. Talk to Cash. Yeah, the problem is, like, they redacted entire sheets, entire items. If they needed to redact more articles, what they should have done is they should have not talked about releasing it beforehand. See, today, we're talking about the certain island hopper, let's say here. This platform doesn't even like their name, but the problem was they made this huge deal out of how they were, dropping this stuff in public, and then we ended up with a giant nothing burger with all of the stuff that came up first. They were finally like, yeah, we're going to get some stuff here. We're going to get the names of the perpetrators. And we should have them, by the way. I want them. One of the things too, I definitely don't want any victims in the crosshairs. Here's the one thing. How do we know when they're redacting things that they aren't redacting names of people that they want to protect? How do we know that out of the perpetrators, when they're redacting the, again, what's to keep them from saying, we got to protect this person. They're politically or socially convenient, so we're going to redact them, and you never know. Like, that's one of the things. I don't trust parties enough to do it. And again, there's a lot of political and social clout on the line. So how far will they go? I hope they go all the way. I hope they show us whoever's there. We'll see. But they've been a mess today, I would say, for real. SF, thanks for the 2. Mean chat. They should have seen Ricketti's. I know, man. That chat was frisky for sure. Yeah. Well, and again, Mealtown, he's about 200 people. Like, I'm not insulting the number by any stretch of the imagination. I'm just saying that's a pretty dedicated group, I would say, that are not really turning on him. They may question some. What he was getting is blowback because of everything that was happening with David the Donor. You have certain hardcore, not just LMNOP simps, but also they simp for 2 L's. But it just shows you, like, again, like if Megan would have said, hey, I'm just throwing this out there because Megan would never do this, right? But if Megan would have been like, I'm taking up donations for blah, 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 and would have gotten 70 grand, and then that money, no transparency or anything, I'd have a problem with that. And it would be handled, it'd be handled, or there would be a problem. I never mentioned Megan because she'd never do that, It would be. I'd handle it either privately. I'd be like, yo, fix this now, or, we're going to have to talk about it publicly. And it wouldn't be just a blah, blah, blah. Yeah, this excuse. No. But these people, none of them would step up. They have created this setup where if you don't walk lockstep, then you're out. And man, he is so weak. He is afraid to be out on his own that badly. But you're right, man. Best friends for life. Best friends for life. I love that freaking, I love that avatar, by the way. It looks cool with that name. I love the channel. Thank you. Candy Money. Candy Money. Thank you. Appreciate it. I do like your avatar. It looks cute with that, especially like with the name. Vanessa, thanks for the 10. Oh, I miss your sweet voice. Some lip gloss funds again for her. I love the plug. Well, thank you. Yeah, we're going to be out tomorrow. Like I said, I got a doctor appointment. I got to drive into Nashville tomorrow. And they, of course, they like to go, which they like to make sure I'm okay. They worry about Dad, which I appreciate from them. So afterwards, I take them out. I go take them out to a few stores. We look around for a few minutes. I give them Well, they get allowance anyway, but I give them some money and I take them out to lunch. I make sure that they get time too. That's been one of the beautiful things about being able to work from home and to do this full time. And again, I appreciate you all for that, because you all allow me to do that. But I've had time to spend with my kids more. I get to sculpt their lives more meaningfully, and I appreciate that. And Paul, thanks for the tea. Check the email for the rescue. Let me see. Yeah, I saw that stuff. Like I said, I did see those come in. I'll have to show those, Paul, like later on. I'll have to download them though. I can't right now, the way I'm set up, I can't, but I will for sure. I'll show those at another time. All right. I think we're at a good point. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to send you over to the Wiz. You know, I think I think that'll be fun. Tell him that Tug sent you. And like I say, I don't know what'll happen tomorrow. We'll see. Maybe on. If not, if I miss tomorrow for some reason, we'll be back Saturday, I'm sure. But we'll find out. Anyway, appreciate y'all. I'll send you that way. Thank you.